Ollie was at home, and it was mid-afternoon, and he was just relaxing, sipping up a cup of coffee, reading a novel about a detective who solved crimes mostly based on his extensive knowledge of animal husbandry. And he was engrossed in this novel when the doorbell rang. I put a bookmark in, somewhat reluctantly, went over, stretched up, and looked through his peephole. And there was no one there. I looked back and forth down the hall. He opened the door, just to get the package, and it was not. So I figured somebody must have rung his doorbell in error. Closed the door, went back to his book. A few minutes later, the doorbell rang again. Ollie again rose, looked through the peephole. Nothing. Nobody. But he really wanted to get back to his reading. So he went back to the couch, picked up his book again. Just a couple of minutes later, the doorbell rang again. This was starting to get annoying. Ollie thought maybe there must be some ding-dong ditcher playing pranks in his building. So he went and looked at the peephole. There was no one there. And he opened the door. This time he opened it, walked all the way, opened it all the way, so it bumped up against the wall. He looked up and down the hallway and listened. Thought for sure he would hear giggling or the sound of feet shuffling. But nothing. "Hello?" I said. "Is someone there?" But no answer. I gave a big, annoyed sigh, and turned back into his apartment and closed the door. Went back to his reading. And a couple minutes later, Ollie heard the doorbell ring again. This time he looked only to the peephole for long enough to make sure there wasn't anyone standing there that he would knock into. And he swung the door wide with an annoyed expression. Said, "That's enough. Knock it off. It's not funny. I can't see where you're hiding, but it's enough. Just stop it. Leave me alone." He went over and he knocked on his neighbor's door. Her name was Mildred. After a minute or two, she answered. I said, "Has there been somebody knocking on your door or ringing your doorbell?" "Oh, not other than me, no. Why?" I said, "Someone's been ringing my doorbell. I don't know quite know what's going on." All right. Thanks anyway. If I see anything, any hoodlums out here ding-doring ditching, I'll give you a ring." Ollie turned around to go back to his apartment after Mildred shut the door. And then he started to laugh out loud. Because what he hadn't seen looking through the peephole, or looking through the door, or walking out into the hallway, he now saw plain as day. And that was another octopus stuck to the ceiling right above his door. "Tommy, what are you doing, you rapscallion? I wondered how long it was going to take you to notice me up here. Tommy, I completely forgot you were going to be in town." Yeah. It's all right. I mean, I'm here for a work thing, so we haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks. Ollie's friend Tommy, another octopus, that said he was probably going to be in town and that he would stop by. "How long," Ollie said, "were you going to let me keep opening the door and looking around like a chump?" I said, I thought you were going to figure it out the first time and we were going to have a good chuckle. And then when you just kept on opening the door, and not seeing me, I had to see how long. I had to see how long I could drag it out. What was the count? Gosh, I think 5, 6. Well, for putting that much effort into it, Tommy, I think I owe you a cup of coffee. Sounds all right to me, said Tommy. And the two of them put him aside, had a cup of coffee, and caught up. And that was the case of Ollie and the ding-dong ditcher.